was referred to that way a while ago. All right. As the slides come up, I said my name is Dr. Moses Thiga from Kabarak University. Well, you know Kabarak University, somewhere in Nakuru, and we've been around for a while. I lecture in information technology. And I was given a very interesting topic, which at this point in time, a number of us may feel, oh, but we know that. Yeah? Access to ICT. I mean, sounds a bit basic. So when I got that, I asked myself, so what exactly would I remark on? Given that we know about 4G, we know about 5G is coming, we have mobile phones, and the previous speaker has just alluded to the issue of internet access, you know? So what is this about access to ICT and STI? She also alluded to manufacturing. And previous speakers have also alluded to the Big Four agenda. And that is where I want to start from. What exactly would we want to know about access to ICTs regarding the fourth industrial revolution? You know? And my session will mainly be trying to provoke your thoughts. Do we have enough access? What exactly does access mean? Do we need to do more? Next. So there have been 4 industrial revolutions. And we began with steam, then went to electricity, then came computing, and that's where we still are. And the sign language interpreter section there blocks out the 4th industrial revolution, which is based on intelligence. We are in that age. We've had all this, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that, big data, etc. That is where we are, or that's where we should be. And UNCTAD, in a recent report, remarked that there have been such a dramatic development in the area of technology that while it serves the purpose of development, it also brings about a very big danger of inequality. I dare say on this side of the world, we are about to receive the raw end of that stick. Ask yourself, we talk about STI, but are we really doing STI? Are we more of consumers, or are we developing anything? Food for thought as we go to the next slide. So, there's lots of things when we talk about the 4th industrial revolution. We've had terms like big data and analytics. Data, the new gold. So, in this day and age, there's lots of data coming your way from your phones, from social media, from sensors, from etc. In this 4th industrial revolution, it's not so much about being a contributor to the data as it is harnessing the power of that data. Think about what I would say the augmented, autonomous robots. Manufacturing is going automated. Are we there? The Big Four agenda alludes to that. And so many other buzzwords, as you may see, the artificial intelligence, new business models, etc., etc. There's so much happening in our space, and when I think about it, I ask, where are we at? Are we barely scratching the surface? Are we contributing to the use of this technology, or are we contributing to the development of this technology? Next slide. So, one of the things that comes to mind is big data. We have a lot of it, and we keep talking about it, and we keep talking analytics. And I thought about the platforms, and I thought about access to technology. And I wondered, if you know any of the names on that screen there, you probably will know that they don't come for free. Yes, MySQL comes for free up to some point. Until the point it starts mattering, it is free. But when you're doing small things, have it. So a lot of the things you see there come at a price. Some of the things our innovators don't know about. And some of that software they dearly need if they're going to extract any value from data. Think access. Next slide. Just examples for now. Augmented reality. There's lots of development in this area. And it's one of the tools that, for example, our Kenya Tourism Board wants to use, tour of Kenya without being here. But when you think about the underlying technology, do our innovators actually have access to that? First of all, to use it. And are we yet capable of making a contribution to that technology beyond using it? Next. 3D printing, it's big. You know, we are going the direction of even printing prosthetic limbs. Talk about healthcare in our country and different areas of manufacturing. But these printers don't come cheap. The cheap ones, say 20,000, commercial grade, headed towards the millions. Do our innovators have access to this? But again, beyond access, what are we thinking as a country towards contributing to the development of this technology? Let's think robotics, the next slide. Autonomous robots. We are headed manufacturing. And once in a while, I watch interesting YouTube videos about Elon Musk and his Tesla factory. And there's plenty of automation there. Very little human intervention. When we talk about the Big Four agenda, is that more like it? Or is it more like Juakali wheelbarrow making, which is important? But when we think development, we want to move from point A to point B. Are we thinking going this far? Are we thinking the intelligence that goes behind these robots? Are we thinking actually making our own and contributing to what they use to develop this kind of robots? Next. The industrial Internet of Things. We're talking manufacturing. It's a sensor world. And as I talked about the Tesla factories and the car factories, it's a world full of sensors. Sensors that collect data that we must analyze and make sense of, sometimes on our mobile devices. When we think manufacturing, is that the way to go? Is that the way we are actually going? Or what exactly did we think? And then, do our innovators, do our SMEs have access to this? Next. So I'm asking lots of questions because in my mind, I wondered, do our innovators, do our average innovators have access to these technologies? Yes and no. Yes, plenty of free things are available for us, but plenty of things for us to use. But yet so little that we are developing ourselves for our own use. I quote Dr. Tony Omwansa, the CEO of Kenya, in a recent workshop. He challenged us. Are we able to at least replicate what has been done before we make developments or before we make contributions? Are we able to make our own toothpicks? Yes, toothpicks are obvious. Are we able to make our own toothpicks? Are we able to just replicate this microphone before we make the next best design? But in order for us to get there, there's so much technology in between. The design technology, the production technologies. Do we have access? Next, our average Kenyan SME, do they have access to this? And when we think about taking STI to the next level, and when we think about the innovation centers that are spread across this country, we want to ask ourselves, are they spaces only, or do we have any tangible equipment in some of this? Yes and no, again. But I dare say that a majority of our innovation centers, our incubation centers, are mainly churning out software products, mobile applications. Are we going beyond software applications? Maybe so, because that's what we can do for now, and there's no harm in that. But the challenge I would like to pose to all of us is, can we think beyond what we've been doing? Can we challenge ourselves? Can KIPPRA maybe inform some policy towards beyond the applications, beyond the software? Can we see more smart farming? Can we see smart industries? You know? And next slide. There's a bit of an